Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is Success and Motivation in the No Comfort Zone. Today's topic is going to be about second chances. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I really do hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
So what happens after it all happens? What happens after you have your fall from grace? What happens when you get through that adversity and now you're done? Now all the drama and the chaos is over with. What happens after the divorce and you're in that apartment by yourself? What happens after you get out of rehab? What happens after bankruptcy court? What happens when you get out of the hospital and you have to start anew? You have to go look for a job. What happens? How do you rebuild? And that's really what I wanted to talk about in today's podcast, from the success and the motivation in the no comfort zone. Listen, if that's just happened to you, one of those scenarios or something similar, what I really want you to do is I want you to actually go to the website, launchwithdan.com. There you have an opportunity. You can make a choice. You can go there and you can actually get on my calendar where I can actually make a call to you. I'll call you. And what we'll do is we're going to fundamentally go through a process to get you back on your feet, get you standing up again, and so you can start going after your goals. See, I had all this adversity happen all at once. And granted, this is all stuff that I did to myself. It was over a long period of time. I just started taking everything for granted. And what I ended up doing is I'm taking everything for granted. I stopped paying attention. Now, there's a difference. When you start taking everything for granted, you expect that you're going to be successful. You expect you're going to get the deal. You expect everything's going to be going your way. You just have an anticipation that everything's just fine. But what I really stopped doing is I also stopped paying attention. I wasn't aware of where I was at. So, and what I mean by that is I didn't know how bad it was for me. I just completely lost touch with reality. Although all of the signs were there, I got to a point in my life and in my career that I just really I got to just tell you, I just stopped paying attention. And all too often, that's what happens to a lot of people. So what I'm telling you is this: if you really want to get back to a place where you start to have some solid ground, I'm going to have to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. You're going to have to actually truly 100% become aware of your surroundings, and you have to also identify exactly why it is you got to the place that you're at now. How did you survive the adversity? What got you into the adversity? What were you doing, saying, feeling, and acting before all of this happened? Why did you start taking things for granted? I did a lot of journaling personally after actually I got, out of the coma and all that stuff. And when I started to come back to reality, I did a lot of journaling, and I realized that I really fell far from the person I thought I was. There is potential and there's the person I was. And they were two very far different things. So my goal was really simply this: after all of the nonsense and all the bad stuff happened, and after I got, through that adversity, I realized that this adversity is going to go on for about 10 years for me to get myself out of the problems. Financially, relationships, addiction, all of those things. And, you don't have to be addicted or in financial ruin or anything else. You just have to feel like you're a failure. And that was me all too often. I had the really good idea of what success was. And from the outside, people would look at me and think I was successful. But on the inside, I knew I wasn't successful because I was so far from my potential. So why do I do this podcast? Why do I talk to you? Why am I reaching out to you? Is because I want to connect with you and I want to help you get from point A to point B. You see, it doesn't have to be 10 years. It doesn't have to be 10 years to be stuck, to be an average. That second chance, as I opened up with, that second chance, it's really right around the corner. And you can have a second chance, if you choose, every 15 minutes. You see, you can actually go through life and you can decide for yourself, how good do you want your life to be? What do you deserve in your life? What have you earned in your life? And most of us have got to a point where we've earned all of the problems. We deserve the situation that we're in because we stop paying attention or we take things for granted. See, what I want to do is I want to share with you a process in how you can actually get from point A to point B. And I'll briefly go through it this, and I talk about it more when we actually get on our phone call. But really what I want to share with you is this. You really do want to become aware. You want to identify how you got there. You want to identify where it is you want to go in your life. You have to decide certain things in your life, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and then you're going to have to take action. So let's focus on this first. Let's just talk about one part of this first part of the blueprint. Let's talk about the awareness part. And if you want to rebuild and if you want a second chance, awareness is key. You're going to have to check in with yourself often. And you're going to have to realize every minute and every moment of every day when you're not on course towards your end goal, when you're not paying attention, you have to realize that you're not paying attention. And how do you do that? Just check back in every 15 minutes. Am I going on the path that I'm supposed to be going on in order for me to get where I'm supposed to get? Because let's face it, if you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, you get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And a lot of people miss that. So truly 100%, just by being aware of where you're at in your life, you're going to be more successful. I tell my kids this all the time. Just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your friends. Just be aware of what's going on around you. Christ, even when the kids are playing video games and they have a drink on the table, just be aware of what's around you. Because when you're not paying attention, what happens? You get excited, you get distracted. Next thing you know, you knock the glass over and you basically got Kool-Aid on the white carpet. What a crazy analogy, but that really does happen, doesn't it? I have an 11-year-old, I have an 18-year-old, 21-year-old, and a 25-year-old, and I think 27-year-old stepdaughter. And my relationship with my kids is super important to me. But quite frankly, at one point in my life, when I was going through my rebound, when I was working on my second chance, there was a really very near time when none of that was a reality. I wouldn't have any of this if I didn't start paying attention, if I didn't become aware. So I just want to tell you this, no matter where you're at in your life, I really want you to focus on truly what's important and being aware of who you are as a person, of where you're at in the society. Because, you don't have to be this way the rest of your life, but you just really truly have to know where you're at right now and what that foundation is. And I can't stress it enough. Just become aware. Just today, become aware of where you're at and try to identify where it is you want to go. But always, every 15 minutes of the day, if you want to have a good rebound, if you want to really work on that second chance, just work on becoming aware. And hey, do me a favor if you can. If you listen to the podcast, I would love an opportunity for you to go to my calendar, go to the website, launchwithdan.com. Put yourself on the calendar. I'll call you. Let's work together so we can get you either out of adversity or back on your feet so you can have a fighting chance at that second chance that you so desperately want. It's time for redemption, right? Let's become aware together, and I'll help you through the process. And also, wherever you consume this podcast, do me a favor. I need reviews. I need some help with some reviews. Let's help some really great people that might need a little bit of help with their goals and getting out of adversity find this podcast just like you did. So please like, review, rate, and share, and do all those fun things. And hey, I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. It is never too late to get a second chance, okay? You're worthy of it. I know you can do it. And hey, if you really want to live a life, do yourself a favor. Get out of your comfort zone so that you can live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.